It's the beginning of the day. It's the tolling of the bell.
Oh, the tolling. Ask not. Something about
For whom the bell tolls.
It tolls for
it
thee.
Tolls for thee.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know, probably. Not for me right now.
Not yet.
Well, and actually, if I take my headphones off, I'll probably be able to hear the tolling of the bell across the road.
Yeah, but who is it tolling for if it's not tolling for you?
It's probably just tolling for everybody who needs to know it's 11 o'clock.
Oh, like it's not... Oh, I thought it was metaphorical tolling.
It is in
you're quite the literalist.
Poem, but it's not. I am today.
So actually,
very much.
A very dear friend of mine once said to me, "The thing is, Simon, you don't really get metaphor, do you?" This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
I mean, as they say, there's a bit of truth in every...
Yes, many's a true word said in jest, I believe, is the phrase.
Is that from Billy Shakespeare, is it?
You know, I've no idea. It's just one of those things like my mother would say to me along the lines of, so she'd say that, many's a true word said in jest. She'd also say, well, there's many a slip betwixt cup and lip.
Yeah. I don't really know what that means. But
I think it means that we can intend to do something, but there are
actions and words. Or actions and intentions.
Well, actions and outcomes. So you might plan to do something, but in the betwixt cup and lip, you can spill your wine down your white tunic.
I mean, that's pretty much every episode of Midlifing, isn't it? We've basically every week we spill wine down our tunics.
Spilling red wine down the cassock of our life.
You're just like a midlifing titling machine, aren't you?
That's my job.
So, so I never quite got to the bottom. I can't remember how we got into this, but I never quite got to the bottom of whether indeed she was serious about me not getting metaphors. I assume not, because, you know, they're not that complicated. I mean, clearly there are some complicated ones, but yeah. I think she was saying you're quite literal, which, fair call.
Yeah, I mean, you're a scientist.
Oh, it's true, isn't it? I've spent the last few years really coming to terms with just how much I was infected by...
Informed.
Shaped.
Yeah, let's not be mean. Let's not say infected as if it's a bad thing. You're informed.
I think it really has... But though I will say, I think my mind was a little bit like that already.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, this is the week that I have gently come to realise that having spent probably the last easily 30 years saying I don't like poetry, I have not been telling a true story.
You've found some poetry or a poet that you really like?
It's actually not that. It's that I realised what I didn't like was how I was taught poetry. And I was thinking about this in relationship to metaphor and you not getting it. And I was always, when I was doing my GCSE and A-level English lit, it was all about the meaning. This means that. And I was reflecting recently that I was taught through the filter of certainty, that there was no ambiguity, which I find now and found then but couldn't give it words.
It's a tragedy, isn't it?
Well, it's just like how really silly. You're talking about metaphor and you're telling me exactly what it means.
Yeah.
And I think as a result, I bolt against the idea of poetry having any value to my ears, because it's like, well, someone just write it plainly instead of twatting about with all your silly words
and your silly metaphors.
Exactly. And I've been coming to, well, it started through some spoken word. I've been listening to a lot of Kae Tempest.
Yes.
and I find their stuff quite
Pretty strong,
affecting.
eh?
Quite
Yeah.
affecting. I was having,
Yeah.
I was stopped at traffic lights at Truro. I was having a full ugly cry, and the person in the car next to me just like looked over and was like gently mouthing, "Are you okay?" And
Really,
it's like,
really.
yeah,
Thought
really. And
I thought they were probably thinking, he's in an electric car. He's probably like too far away. He's about to run out of juice.
then they said, "Are you okay?" And I just pointed to my ears and then pointed to the radio and then just shrugged.
That's great. I love that you did that. I love that happened. And were you listening to the radio? Or were you Spotifying or whatever, Apple Musicing, whatever it is you were doing?
I
Kae
was.
Tempest?
No, let me think. I was BBC iPlayering. There you go.
I think I think you know what? I think my mother put me on to Kae Tempest a long time ago. I mean, clearly it was more than 4 years ago. And was just saying how, and that was before. I can't remember what Kae Tempest's name was before they became Kae Tempest, but something similar.
It was very similar. In fact, if you say Kae Tempest,
Yeah.
it sounds exactly the same
exactly.
name, but it's.
And yes, I remember. Yeah, Mum was very, very moved, and I just wish I remember the poem now. Wait, I'm just about to sneeze.
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh, good sneeze. I'll probably edit that out so people don't have their ears hurt.
I was a long way away from the microphone when I sneezed.
Still,
really.
wowzers.
Yeah, big noisy noise, annoying, a
Big
noisy
noise from
annoying an
your
oyster.
noisy nose.
So, poetry, I think we're going to get a lot of our 16 and 17-year-old listenership writing in saying, yeah, fucking GCSE poetry, English or lit or whatever it was. They just, I mean, how Wordsworth, it's a shame, isn't it? It's a tremendous, I mean, there's a whole film called Dead Poet Society, which is pretty much about that thing.
I know, and it was very. I hadn't realised how much I had bridled against poetry, but anyway. In the same week, I also found myself quoting a bit of war poetry because somebody brought up a website that had been sent to us by an external organisation, and they very, very sort of gently and subtly said, "I think it might be a work in progress. I'm not sure it's fully completed yet."
The website?
The website, yeah. And we all looked at it. It's like lorem ipsum. Just kind of like, oh yeah, absolutely. And then it became a little bit more jovial in our conversations. Like, well, maybe they're going for the Latin crowd, and everybody around the table. Everybody around the table started to say the Latin that they could remember, and it was very much, carpe
diem.
Carpe diem. Because
not only all, that's all the Latin I know. There is actually probably it's not true because there's got a lot of Italian words anyway.
We didn't have any privately educated people in the room who were able to like pull on their on their Latin, but I did remember my English lit and poetry, and then it suddenly fell from my mouth. Dulce et decorum est po patria mori.
Oh,
and
yes.
I was
What
like,
does that mean? Something about
the sweetness
sweet
to
and
die
death.
for your sweetness of dying for your country.
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's
all good
deeply...
things happen in the name of states and statehood and nationalism, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, we're there again, aren't we?
Oh, let's not, because I mean, the world would be an amazing place if we didn't have nations. Oh, I even bridled at it when my team won the Premier League last weekend. And, there's a team from people from all over the world. As most football teams are, they're true melting pots. But they all ended up wearing around their waists the flags of their nations. Yeah. One of them Hungary, one of them Egypt. And it's like, it's just such a limited kind of scope of who that person is, or limited idea of who that person is.
I would just like to say that the Dulce et Decorum Est pro patria mori is referenced in a Wilfred Owen poem, and Wilfred Owen is being very, very sarcastic in that particular text.
Oh, I mean, and also what
Just in case anybody
poetry,
is thinking.
what poetry? We could revisit a bit of Wilfred Owen about friendship. I mean, he is. I just love his poetry.
And this is another, and remembering that and listening to Kae Tempest has sent me down a little rabbit hole of, maybe I'll just start to do a little bit of reading. So I went back there and I've had a nice time this week.
Oh, great.
Amongst the usual guff of doing work, every now and then I will just type Wilfred Owen into the internet and read a little poem and go,
Have you got a little bit for us that you could read right now?
No, I haven't. This wasn't setting us up for me to do a recital.
Oh, that's a shame because so if anyone, I don't imagine. Maybe there are some listeners who go Wilfred Owen, and so if you haven't ever, Wilfred Owen was a World War I poet and actually died just before the end of the war, didn't he? Like right at the tail end. Yeah. It was tragic.
It was heartbreaking. Yeah.
And so along with Sassoon, wasn't he? Siegfried Sassoon and Wilfred Owen were the two
Siegfried Sassoon was his elder and sort of his mentor.
I am the enemy, something my friend... anyway, go on.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do Dulce. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Bent double, like old beggars under sacks. Knocked-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through sludge. Till on the haunting flares we turned our backs and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on, bloodshot. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of tired, outstripped 5-9s that dropped behind. Gas, gas, quick boys, an ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time, but someone still was yelling out and stumbling and floundering like a man on fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watch the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil's sick of sin, if you could hear at every jolt the blood come gargling from the froth-corrupted lungs, obscene as cancer, bitter as the cud of vile, incurable sores on innocent tongues. My friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie, Dulce et Decorum Est, pro patria mori.
I was reading Wilfred Owen, and Sassoon less so. It was mostly Wilfred Owen I was reading in my late 20s. Yep. And I just remember reading like that poem, and I just remember, so much of it going, how could anyone who read it ever go to war or imagine that war is hanging face? Was it hanging?
His hanging face like a devil's sick of sin. But we don't do that very often, do we? We don't tell those bits of the story. We tell the Top Gun bits of the story. We do the come on boys, and it's nearly always boys. Let's join in. Let's fight for our country. Let's best the Ruskies or the Jerrys or the whatever, shorthand for the people on the other side who are, of course, evil. They must be evil. They're always evil. Yeah, this is the week that the Reform Party in the UK has just done a massive march into local councils. It's just makes me want to do a cry.
So
yeah. It's kind of replaced the Tory Party.
Yeah, it's a sort of far right. I mean, it is far right, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I was going to say we don't have to do it with the high-rise terminal. We can just say it's the far right party of the UK.
The high-rise terminal.
Yeah,
it is. It is. Yeah. It's led by.
I'm not going to be polite if anybody's listening and voted for reform and think, "Oh well, Lee, come on, it's not really." It's like, fuck off. Delete this podcast from your feed, please. I wish you well, I don't have any hatred in my heart for you, but I'm not going to sit on the fence about my opinion regarding.
So here we go. This is perfect. This is a perfect segue into my little. I'm not going to recite some poetry because I couldn't do it as well, but I am going to recite. This is our content for this week. This is Anthony de Mello from a book called, and he says, someone once said, the three most difficult things for a human being are not physical feats or intellectual achievements. They are, first, returning love for hate. Second, including the excluded. Third, admitting that you are wrong. Please discuss.
We are not trained to turn the other cheek, which I find fascinating, given that we in the West live in a Judeo-Christian ideology, which tells us...
Turning the other cheek is Old Testament, isn't it?
No, I think it's Jesus. Doesn't Jesus turn the other cheek? I don't know. I'm not good enough on my scholarship. I don't know. I always thought it was Jesus telling me to turn the other cheek.
I think that... Oh, God, I wish we had... I mean, we could look it up. But no, I think I would lean towards New Testament.
But, we can ask who said turn the other cheek.
What? There's someone we can ask?
Yeah, it's called the internet. It was Jesus. It was during the Sermon on the Mount.
Oh.
There you go. That was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, well done. Was that ChatGPT or did you go...
No, that was just Wikipedia.
Oh, right. Just Wikipedia. I mean, Wikipedia, what a shit website.
I have to say... I remember talking to undergraduates about, well, you can't go to Wikipedia, and then it's like, start there, it's really quite good.
Yeah.
It's a fuck's sake better than a lot of the stuff you'll find on a normal search. I feel quite confident. Oh, you're quoting from Wikipedia, good. At least there's probably some references at the bottom that you can follow on.
It's true, isn't it?
As opposed to, because...
It's the kind of height of academic rigour. It's not a cesspit of...
No! This is the thing, isn't it? I remember it would have been like, 2003, 2004, where people would rock up with something in their essay from a Wikipedia and go, this is not an academic source. And then now thinking like, oh my God, they've done some research.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think, those goalposts, they just keep moving around, don't they? I just want to kick the ball in the middle and then someone move the motherfuckers. Like, it's just not fair. But listen. I agree with turning the other cheek. But those three, just to start this conversation, first was returning love for hate. Second, including the excluded. Third, admitting that you were wrong. Which of those three, how would you rank them, first of all, in terms of your own priorities or what you think is most important? And also, which do you think of the three is most difficult?
I'm not going to rank them in terms of orders of importance because I think they're equal.
Right.
I will instead just speak to my difficulty.
Go on.
I want to say...
Admitting that you're wrong.
That admitting that that I'm wrong is something that I find quite easy. Nah. That'll be number one. I would want admitting that I was wrong not to be number one. I would want returning love for hate to be the thing that I would say is the worst thing that I struggle with.
Yeah, the most difficult thing.
It's the most difficult. It is difficult, but I think fundamentally I struggle saying no. Let me rephrase that. I can admit that I am wrong, but what I hate about myself is that my default position when somebody says something to me that I don't agree with is to say no, not to go, hang about, let me interrogate my own perspective. It's something that's
different from admitting you're wrong, isn't it? I mean, it's like a blood brother.
Yeah, but I think so. In our house, Bob will tell me stuff all the time, and bearing in mind, I have regularly said Bob is better read than me, cleverer than me.
I mean, the entire internet knows that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Better read, cleverer, and just more analytical. She's
not better dressed. Well, anyway.
Sorry, she is. I mean, the one thing that I've got in my favour is that I can put an outfit together and I stand next to Bob and I go, shit, I wish I'd tried harder.
Yeah. You did. As you definitely married up.
Oh, fuck yeah. Totes. Yeah. But there are some times when Bob will say, "Oh, I think," and because she's a woman and because she's been schooled in a particular way, she will start with the question, "Oh, I think." She starts with a space of uncertainty rather than telling me a truth. Yeah. And then I will go, "Oh, I don't think that's right." And then I immediately go, "I'm so sorry." But the first response, because I am trained.
To close the conversation, isn't it?
Yeah. I have been trained through all sorts of mechanisms, many of them gendered, most of them gendered, is to assume immediately that the woman in front of me who's telling me the truth can't be right.
Oh, do you think so? You don't do that? You mean you don't respond like that to men?
I don't think I speak with. I think Bob gets the unfiltered version of me. Bob gets the unfettered version of me. There is never a
must
pause.
Be terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine the poor creature that has had to put up with this?
Because
in its
if I'm getting
form.
a filtered version of you here.
You're absolutely getting a filtered version. She gets the bit that's got...
Holy bejeebers.
Yeah. No politesse, no manners. It's all just like... Bleh! She gets the full feral version of me.
Okay.
But... So the people in the world, men and women in the world, so I wouldn't do this to another woman out in the world, will get the pause, think, respond. Bob gets the respond, pause, think.
Right.
And that is the bit that I've trained myself well enough at least to immediately, as it comes out of my mouth, to go, "No, I'm sorry, what were you saying?" But it feels like an onslaught to me. I've apologised to Bob and she goes, "I don't really know." It's not something that is causing her as much grief as it is causing me.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful, isn't it? That's actually, it's like she's recognising very deeply that it actually has nothing to do with her. It's all got to do with you. It's effectively your problem.
Absolutely, it's totally my problem.
She need not be affected by your problem.
Yeah, because absolutely. Yeah. But nevertheless, I feel that I am affecting her with my problem, and
which of course is hilarious. I mean, anyway, yeah.
But you're absolutely right. That is the blood brother of not being able to admit that I'm wrong, and it's that's kind of, it feels like that's my default position, that I am right.
So I guess we're both saying, or implying, that we can exclude, including the excluded, as being like that. That you feel like of the three, that maybe that one's that you're more sensitive or more aware of how you exclude people.
I think I am terribly guilty of exclusion.
Sure,
but I think I am also deeply aware of the exclusion and the guilt of it. And again, these are the exclusions quite often happen inside myself, and then I kind of make a decision or I make a judgment in my inside, and then go, "Oh no, wait a minute, sit with that, interrogate that."
So there is a little bit of space between the thought and the action. No, what was the intention and the action there?
There is in that particular one, but I think
not
it's
a lot of wine
partly
being spilled there.
There's still wine being spilt, but I think I spill less of that than I do in the other two. The returning love for hate, I am covered in wine.
Who said I don't get metaphors? I mean, it's I feel like we should stop right now. I think we should stop this. I think this has been it entirely, beginning to end. It's all you need for an episode.
I mean, I think you're probably not far from being wrong. I think, let's put a tin hat on it. Just for a second there, I thought you were saying that we should bring an end to the entirety of the podcast, because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts recently that are coming to an end.
Oh.
And it's been quite what's the word? Revealing on about how upset I have felt. Yeah. And despite the fact that I construct a podcast with my friend, and I understand the time it takes, and I understand how hard it is to get it into a week, I still find myself going, "You can't abandon me."
Yeah.
So curious.
I mean, the thing is, I would stop immediately if I thought I understand what's going on here. I mean, I'm really serious. But I think there's so much more, and I think that's not about who's listening and how many people. I really couldn't, like we've talked about, I just couldn't care less, really. Although I care that people listen, and I care for people who listen. It's not that. It's just that, I think I want to get good at this, and I want to find out more about you and me and us and how people relate. And I just think so I think we're just beginning, frankly.
I'd also miss our conversations. I'd miss our conversations, and to the point I'd be like, well, I would insist on weekly calls.
Yeah.
And then I would
Why
find
not
myself
just record
going,
them?
you
could record them in secret.
No, that would be, I'd be booted out of the Research Integrity and Ethics Committee.
Yeah, which would be great, wouldn't it?
What, to not have to go to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one less meeting. One less monthly meeting.
Yeah. On Thursday, I said, I'm going to work from home, thinking to myself, that's going to make my life so much easier. Between the hours of 8 o'clock and 6 o'clock, I had 3 minutes to have a wee.
Oh, God.
That was it. Every single hour was taken up with a meeting.
Oh. Hey,
no.
Are we stopping, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
stopping.
Have you stopped?
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. See ya.
I'm about to stop now. Stopping.